Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages. It's one of them situations where Jeremy Renner is an absolutely incredible actor. The guy's a fan favorite. He's always been really good with the fans. His answers in a lot of his media and marketing out there have been really, really well done. He's been a great Hawkeye. There's been absolutely no denying that whatsoever. The guy just absolutely embodies the role. And honestly, we need to see more of him with there. The series that really wasn't even his series, it needed to be way more about him, is one of those kind of disappointments that we've got over the years. But he's been in Mayors of Kingstown. The guy's been in a lot of other great things, so there's wonderful things you can go out there and watch him. But it's one of them kind of situations we see going on out there, which the Disney Marvel company is one that he worked for quite a while. And of course, we've seen Disney Marvel go out there time and time again and try to push this kind of nonsense in their marketing, trying to say that there were certain things that were going on behind the scenes, and that's why X, Y, and Z happened. But boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, the Walt Disney Company got hacked. And there is a whole crap ton, over 1 terabytes worth of information, including Slack messages, an internal company messaging board that they use, as well as a whole bunch of pictures and all kinds of other information that we are slowly starting to go through right now and finding more and more information out about it at all the times. And ladies and gentlemen, Disney lied about Jeremy Renner, and we now have the evidence to show that, boys and girls, because Disney's hack reveals Disney shut down Jeremy Renner's app, not online trolls. Yes, boys and girls, the old tried again true excuse for the Walt Disney Company as to why anything they do fails, instead of maybe, I don't know, looking internally and possibly try to figure out what they are doing wrong. No, of course, boys and girls, they blame it on online trolls, which of course they can never actually show us any real evidence of, or any kind of actual disparaging comments that people are actually seeing or using, or even the racism that they always talk about. And once again, is just another proof that not only will Disney lie about all of their DEI, DIE nonsense, diversity, inclusion, equity, and all of their pushing of the agenda, they will also lie about anything that is simply not their decision or might possibly get them any kind of pushback from the audience. God forbid they worry about pushback of the audience by actually writing good stories instead of just taking the blame for the decisions they made. So color us shocked there, boys and girls. Disney is in the blame game again. So we're going to check out this article from CosmicBook.news, getting all of the juicy details of exactly what really happened with Jeremy Renner's app. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, subscribe and or follow if you have not already, because we're inching closer and closer to 900 over there on Rumble, or 800 over there on Rumble, and closer and closer to 900 on YouTube, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment down below, and if it surprised you in any way, shape, or form that the Walt Disney Company lied about Jeremy Renner and what really happened to his app. Hacker group claims to have dumped 1.1 TB of files and chat messages from Disney's Slack account. Essentially, it's a little over 1 terabyte of information. We gained a potential inside look at the inner workings of Disney, where the company seemingly blamed fans for the shutdown of the popular Jeremy Renner official app. However, it appears it was Disney itself that demanded Renner shut it down. Oh, well, you certainly couldn't let him get any more popular than the Disney company, now could you? You wouldn't want him getting too big for his britches, because if it became too much of a fan favorite and had too much of a great relationship with the fans, then he would have power over you, much like we see with Muhammad Ali now with the Blade movie. Then you get to do what you want, and you don't have to put up with the deconstruction of the beloved character that you play inside of the MCU. However, it appears it was Disney itself that demanded Renner shut it down. It is claimed that Disney has suffered a massive hack, revealing that Disney forced Jeremy Renner to shut down his popular Jeremy Renner official app. I mean, this guy's a fan favorite. He has great interaction with fans. Everything you've seen about him is nothing but happy. You hear nothing but good things about working with the guy. He's a huge family man, has great faith, and literally went out of his way and almost lost his life trying to save a family member. This guy is an absolute boss. I love this guy. He's an absolute Chad, as it were. So 5 years ago, the alleged data leak shows it was Disney's decision. A hacker group, Null Bulge, claims they have dumped 1.1 TB of files and chat messages from Disney's Slack account. 1 terabyte of data, almost 10,000 channels, every message and file possible, dumped. unreleased projects, raw images, and code. Some login, links to internal API web pages, and more. Have fun sifting through it. There is a lot there, states the Hackers Group's website. And as we've seen with giant data dumps like this in the past from hacker groups to go out there and go into this kind of stuff and acquire this information, it will take a while for this stuff to come out. So I would keep an eye on things. And if you haven't already, make sure you hit that notification bell, because it's one of them situations where we will see a lot more of this coming out. If any of this ends up being true and there seems to actually be some serious substantiation to all of this information, it sounds like we will get loads of content going for and seeing even more of Disney's secrets revealed and put out there for the entire public to understand the kind of evil workings and the absolute unrelenting nonstop of not wanting to take responsibility that is clearly the staple of the Walt Disney Company under the Bob Iger era. So regarding the shutdown of the Jeremy Renner app, back in 2019, the New York Times published an article, The Rise and Fall of the Jeremy Renner App, which was a real thing. The article says, online trolls ruined the app because, of course, New York Times, an absolute acolyte of the cult, an advocate for the spirit of the age in every way, shape, or form, a pusher of the agenda, of course, wrote an article like this for Disney, making sure the blame, of course, was once again on the audience and the fans and not the people actually responsible for making the decisions. Boy, it just feels like another day ending in Y. Online trolls ruined the app, which allowed the Avengers actor to connect with and monetize his super fans. Online trolls have killed Jeremy Renner's Official, a mobile app introduced more than 2 years ago as a gathering place for fans, you guessed it, of Jeremy Renner. The article also lies blame on the Stephen Hack, a comedian writer in Vancouver who took responsibility for having obliterated it. Really? A comedian from Vancouver shut down an app for one of the most popular MCU stars out there? How did anyone believe this at the time? I'd imagine a lot of you smelled the stink that was on this. The article says Stephen Heck discovered that the app's alerts made it seem as if any user's replies to a comment that it had come from Mr. Renner himself. Following having joked about it on Twitter at the time, the article states Mr. Heck found an app ruined by his discovery. Dozens of false Renners had sprouted up, soaring chaos, he wrote it. On Wednesday, the app was killed, according to an in-app message from Mr. Renner written in front of that mimics genuine handwriting and shared by several users on chat. The app has jumped the shark, literally, due to clever individuals that were able to manipulate ways to impersonate me and others within the app. I have asked EscapeX, the company that runs this app, to shut it down immediately and refund anyone who has purchased any stars over the last 90 days. What was supposed to be a place for fans to connect with each other was turned into a place that is everything I detest and can't or won't condone. My sincere apologies for this to have not turned out the way it was intended. To all the super fans who have supported me with your words or encouragement, amazing art, stories, and time shared on the app, a genuine thank you, and I hope to see you on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. And here's one of the things, right? Obviously, this statement has Jeremy Renner's name on it, but at the end of the day, one of two things can be possible. Yes, he just allowed this statement to be put out there and his name to be read, even though he knew this was false, or because this is a guy who doesn't have the technical know-how to go in and really examine all this stuff and understand it, right? He's an actor, right? He's one of our dancing clowns. That's his job. That's what he's supposed to do. He's not a tech expert, right? So literally, this could have been the excuse that the company fed him in order to justify their cancellation. So, of course, he's going to put a thank you. He's going to put a goodbye message out there about all of this kind of stuff. I think this was Renner either being led false information or he does own up to some responsibility for this and absolutely should be. His name's on it after all. So, however, according to the Disney Hack, a user on X discovered that Disney shut down the Jeremy Renner app. Okay, so just going through these, and this is crazy. Disney forced Jeremy Renner to shut down the popular Renner app using a non-compete clause in his Marvel contract. Internal emails show that they saw it as a legitimate threat to Disney Plus and possibly all other media as well. Color us shocked there. Jealousy is a very, very wicked little monster, now isn't it, boys and girls? So apparently what happened is that Jeremy Renner was forced to shut down his app by Disney. But Disney and Renner spun the story to blame fans instead, the online trolls. Clearly, Renner's dev team could have fixed the app so that messages from him were clearly marked as coming from him. Instead, apparently Disney and Renner chose to blame fans and shut down the app. And yes, like I said, whether Renner actually knew what was going on or why this was, but if it's an internal clause that he violated and that's what they told him, then yes, absolutely they should that. And he owns responsibility for this as well. And he needs to, if this is true, he needs to come out and say something about it and make a statement about it. I don't know what his future of Hawkeye looks like at Disney Marvel. Maybe he's worried of coming out and telling the truth or the honesty about this actual situation will end up harming his future career takes, and he does have a very large family that he has to look at, and I can completely understand that. But at the end of the day, the truth must come out, and the Walt Disney Company is nothing more than filled with a bunch of giant liars out there that will make up any excuse to shut something down and make sure that the blame did not come on them. And that, at the end of the day, is what this comes down to. This is more Disney marketing, more fan blaming, all under the guise of some non-existent trolls that they keep trying to drum up again and again as some boogeyman in their closet or hiding under their bed that simply does not exist at the end of the day, boys and girls. The internet will always be full of a limited amount of trolls. But for to think that enough trolls could cause the amount of damage to shut down a very popular app from a very popular actor is just absolute nonsense, and is complete and total BS from the Walt Disney Company, and in this case, Jeremy Renner as well. And guess what? Now we finally found out the truth. At the end of the day, the truth always comes out. And shout out to these hackers for doing the Lord's work out there and discovering more of the evils inside of the Walt Disney Company, because clearly everything Disney touches turns to dust, and that even happened with Jeremy Renner's very own app.